Howdy! Welcome to Candid Travels Texas' special show. Today we are going to go to the premiere Texas screening of, can you see that? Venice Nights, starring Liam Stone, Kevin Love, and Jenny Hughes. It's going to be at the world-renowned Texas Union Theater at the University of Texas at Austin, Hook'em Horns, and it's going to be a fundraiser for the University Theater Guild. It's the first time ever that the film is going to be shown in public, as well as a fundraiser. It had gone to Sundance Film Festival, Berlin, Germany, Terminal Film Festival did well there, and other places. But this is the first time, so here we go. Hey, we're at the Texas Union, going to the Texas Union Theater. Here it is, Butch, Cassidy, and Sundance Kid, directed by Liam Stone, fellow Austinite and UTG member. Comedy. We're getting ready. We're getting the signs ready. This is the Texas Union Theater, one of the biggest theaters, I think in Austin actually.
It seats 380-ish people?
Yeah, that's a big theater. We're about an hour away from showtime. Here we go. And this is for a good cause. It's the University Theater Guild here at the University of Texas. This theater holds close to 400 seats. So it's one of the largest movie theaters in Texas. Come on in before the show. I'll show you. We have first run films here. This is a movie theater. So it's a very, very large movie theater. It's called the Texas Union Theater. We have first run films. We have state events, like if the President of the U.S. wants to come in and wants to screen something, this is the theater that we screen it at. I've seen so many cool movies here growing up. So here it is, and we're going to premiere Venice Nights here at the Texas Union Theater. Woohoo! Okay.
Where did you graduate from? University of
We're test screening it right now. It's a test screen.
I did not say that.
Okay, how's it look? Cool. All right, we're ready for the show. One last thing before I introduce the film. This is a Australian didgeridoo.
Miracles happen every day, whether you're a hero or a zero. Number 8 fact about Venice Nights. Original movie concept was a remake of Butch, Cassidy, and the Sundance Kid, but the filmmakers had only surfboards and wetsuits, so they decided to make Butch and Sundance into surfers. 7. Venice Nights was created out of a last-minute unemployment due to Hollywood studio politics. Number 6, Venice Nights was viewed as a piece of art at the Los Angeles Museum of Art on April Fool's Day. The number 1 fact about Venice Nights is all the crappiness is intentional and storyboarded, and the movie is not over at the end credits. It goes on and on, so don't leave after the end credits. There's a scene after that, and then we'll have the Q&A. Thank you very much. Let's roll Venice Nights. Living out in LA primarily for the last 10 years, I spent a lot of time in Venice Beach, and a lot of these people I would meet, they're between ages of like 18 and 30, and they seem like regular people, and it turns out that none of them had parents. Most of them around like age 10 or 11 started hanging out with each other and parenting each other, and there might be like one crazy lunatic older guy who would take care of him, sort of like that Uncle Rock character. And so I thought about doing a documentary about it, but then didn't happen because Kevin Love, who's the guy who played Harry, Bobby, my character's best buddy, he and I were interning at various production companies in Los Angeles during that period of time, and we also were some actors that were actually lucky enough to get cast in like studio films and television shows, network stuff. So we never really got around to making a movie. But we both love Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Paul Newman and Robert Redford's movie done in, I think it's 1969. 69, yeah. Anyway, so we were thinking about doing like a documentary and then also maybe a remake of Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, channeling the Paul Newman personality and the Robert Redford personality. We never got around to doing it. But then as a result of Hollywood politics, we were told we weren't allowed to work for 3 months out of the year. and we didn't have a job. So we decided to make a movie, combine the two ideas, and then form Loving These Film Productions. Since we already knew how to run a production company, since we were working for all these other people for free. And that's how the film came to be.
Cool. And did you have a favorite day of principal photography as a director?
Yes, this is the first time I ever directed like a feature-length film, and on top of that, every single actor in this film is a theater actor. We're here at the University Theater Guild, you know? And that's, yay! Woo-hoo! We made a little money today, woo! Okay, so I come from a theater background. And so Kevin as well, we all come from a theater background. And so we made sure to cast, we had our casting directors cast only theater actors. And I personally was not supposed to be in the movie. I'm like watching the movie and I'm laughing because I'm like on screen so often. And I wanted to direct the film because it was my first time directing a feature film. I was totally not wanting to be in it, but my own casting directors ended up casting me playing Bobby Parker. So anyway, my favorite day therefore was the last day. It was horrendous. So the last day of filming was my favorite because we went to 3 exterior locations, the beach, the park, and also that really busy area where Bobby's parents, the ex-porn actors, showed up. Yeah, just kind of, oh, he has money, let's go look for him, you know. And it went pretty smooth other than transporting the crew from one place to another. We didn't have any problems with permits, which is an increasing problem in Los Angeles. So any filmmakers here, I don't highly recommend filming in Los Angeles nowadays, because they charge exorbitant fees, they'll put cuffs on you and take you to jail if you don't have like a permit. It's really bad. But everything went smoothly, and that was my favorite day of filming, the last day.
Okay, great. Does the audience have any questions for Liam?
Yes.
What were some challenges of both acting and directing?
What were some of the challenges in acting and
Directing.
Okay. First of all, for the directing part of it, I don't come really from a artistic, like an art direction background. So I depended heavily on a couple of other people to decide. Like Casey Hojak, he's one of the prime cinematographers. So that was one challenge for me as a director because I don't come from an art background. So Casey and the lady who played my mom, she comes from that art background, so she actually lended an artistic eye to framing the different shots and such. Second, like I said before, it was very difficult because I come from a performance background as a musician, as a dancer, and an actor. So this was the first time I had to actually direct behind the camera, and as well as be in almost every single scene. That was extremely difficult. I had to figure out a way to bilocate, like in Star Trek or something, like where they transport you and you're like, I'm there and I'm there. So that was the difficulty for me as a director. And the other question was acting. One of the things that we had to do was we had to make sure everybody stayed in character. As you can see, these are really colorful characters. And everybody is a stage actor, a theater actor. And we're used to, I don't know, like, are you guys ever method? You know what I mean? Are theater actors method actors? Not really, right?
Some of them are.
But mostly not.
Mostly not, because
Right.
it would be really intense to do that.
Right, you're like constantly, hey, my parents are porn actors, like 24/7, you know? And so, because it's on film, and that's one of the big differences between a film and a stage, is you kind of have to keep that thing going quite a bit. And then, like I said, everybody there didn't believe in method acting. There's not one method actor in there. Although, if you think we were kind of like method, that'd be great. In fact, when the film played in Los Angeles and Hollywood and Germany, I had these filmmakers come up to me and say, man, I'm so sorry about your parents. They thought that was really me, so we must have done okay. We were the talk of the town for a while, man. It was just weird. I was like, okay, that's a role. I'm not really Bobby Parker or Butch Cassidy. So that was the second challenge. Another challenge, and I'm glad you brought it up, was if you notice in this film, any of you guys out there raise your hand to theater major or RTO? Yeah. Okay, did you notice anything different about this film? Like in terms of, let's say, the last part? Remember when Bobby's parents showed up? It's pretty weird, right? Right, there's something unusual about it as you're watching it. It's just, and what it is, and here's the secret, because everybody was a theater actor, we didn't have to like take breaks. We could do the entire scene straight through without making mistakes. So that one sequence, and that's actually on the last day of filming, it's my favorite part of the film. I don't know what you like, but my favorite part was when Bobby's parents just showed up. If you notice, it was just strange, right? But it happens in real life. Stuff like that really happens. And so, if you notice in that scene, that was a very difficult scene, but we performed it perfectly. It was one take. You notice there were no cuts at all? Absolutely no cuts. It was one take with 5 characters in frame. And all 5 characters, my character, the 2 parents, the estranged parents who were porn actors, the little girl, and his best friend Bobby, which is Sundance kid, we were all in frame. And if you notice, everybody was speaking pretty much at the same time. It was all scripted and storyboarded, exactly to the T. Now you would have maybe 1 or 2 conversations going on at the same time, but as the audience, you could pretty much understand almost all of it, right? Okay.
I had a question
Ron,
about
yeah.
that. Was there like an artistic reason why some of the audio was a lot quieter?
Yes, absolutely. We purposely made the audio uncomfortable. Like during the, I know it's you gotta have me explain this. Like during the museum scene where they're in the bus, you know how when you're in a school bus full of kids and you're on a field trip with a bunch of kids and you're the chaperone, the experience of it is literally like hard to bear. When you're at the beach for real, you hear all the in the background and you're trying to talk to your friend or your family member next to you, huh? So yes, the answer is absolutely yes. And we did it boldly and unapologetically. The question is, what was the most difficult part of transitioning from theater on the stage to film? That's an excellent question. We were all, like I said, for the exception of myself, the redheaded girl, she was in 10 Things I Hate About You with Heath Ledger, and Kevin Love, and the little tiny girl, Miley, right? Everyone, other than us, we actually had experience knowing how to hit our mark, knowing where the camera angles are, and you know, that kind of thing. So a lot of film acting is really not theater acting, it's modeling really. It's more, you know, like print modeling, you know, how to emoting into the camera. Everyone else was a stage actor. So what I had to do was we had to do these seminars where I had to teach every single one of myself, Kevin, primarily, and Corey. The 3 of us had to have these seminars to teach all the other actors how to talk into a camera. And specifically, a single handheld most of the time. There's very few tripod shots. It was all organic and live and handheld shots. And you also have to enunciate, because we did not want boom operators hanging around at the beach and everything for many reasons. We wanted an organic feel, and also by the time we did this, our cameras are so sophisticated, you don't even need a boom. It's an internal mic and a little tiny camera. So we can pick everything up audio-wise. But we still wanted them to project into the camera. So yes, that's an excellent, so the transition was we had to absolutely train all the theater actors how to do stuff on film. So we had a, what do you call it, a film workshop, like a camera workshop. We did that for about 4 months for every single cast member. Every single cast member had to, and that was 3 times a week, every single cast member had to actually go and screen the actual Butch, Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. We requested the, you know, the Hollywood Cinerama Dome, that big dome in Hollywood, to show Butch, Cassidy and the Sundance Kid just for us. And God's grace said yes. So that was another thing, and we had a little workshop after that to see how did the film actors in the old days, because nowadays film actors are different than, let's say, back in like the 60s. So we were trying to emulate that, like the late 60s kind kind of a feel. I don't know, it's very oldish if you look at it, right? It's not, you know. So, great question, and that's your challenge.
Okay, so one final question from me.
Oh, from Allison, okay.
Okay. What current and future projects do you have coming up?
Ooh, okay. The project that is current right now, it's a TV series that won the World Fest International Gold Grammy Award 2014. I'm really proud of it. It's called Candid Travels Texas, and you can Google that, and on our brand new Lovingly Stone Productions channel, you can watch it anytime you want. So please check it out. The last episode we had Keanu Reeves on it and Elijah Wood on it, and among other people. So please check it out, support it, tell your friends to click subscribe. And that's Lovingly Stone, P-R-O-D, just Lovingly Stone. But it's a kind of a travel show, kind of a cross between Mr. Rogers, travel show, and Jackass, which is kind of, I don't know if y'all felt like this thing was like that. So I couldn't believe it. We actually won the World Fest, but we didn't know. So we weren't even in Houston, and they mailed us a big trophy and award. So I guess that's my deal. I don't really get to be there for the hoopla.
And what future project?
Oh, okay. You mean like other than our company?
Yeah.
Okay. As an actor, I've been cast by Hollywood movie studio people in a movie. We already finished it. It's called Bruce the Challenge. It's a movie about Bruce Lee, you know, the Kung Fu Karate, that guy, being challenged between the years of 1960 to 1971 of having a fight in the ring by an American Kempo Karate practitioner. And so this is an actual feature-length movie about this occurrence based on a true story. The interesting thing is everybody in the movie is an actor being cast to play somebody who existed 30 years ago. So I was cast to play American Kempo Karate Master Dave Gonzalez, whose student is the one who challenged Bruce Lee. And the interesting thing about that is Bruce Lee, they tell us, is going to be played by none other than Bruce Lee. From footage that was shot for this project from 1960 to 1971. So this film was shot from 1960 to 2014 with footage of us being combined in there with the old stuff, sort of like Forrest Gump shaking John F. Kennedy's hand like Tom Hanks. So they are delayed on post-production. So and there's one other project that's public that I can talk about, and that is called, it's a Western that's 4D, you know, like three-dimensional, and then when the gun blows, you can smell smoke, and then the horse runs through the water, they're gonna spray your face. It's called Forgiven This Gun for Hire. It's gonna be filmed in 3D, and I was asked to play Butch Cassidy, but a real, like, old-timey version of Butch Cassidy, not like a surfer, because they are gonna be filming in Arizona for that, and I'm hoping I'll get there, film, and come home to Texas, so that's that, and yeah, I think, yeah, but definitely watch Candid Travels Texas. It's a great show, it's fun if you ever want to just kind of veg out. We try to keep it pretty friendly for children, so we try to keep most of our stuff PG-13. Thank you so much!